Good evening, everyone. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we have quorum, right? Yes, with Hugo on. Okay, it's 5:30 and Monday, May 9 of 2022. This is the Human Rights Commission for the City of Palm Springs. First item up for business is roll call. Jay, can I have you take roll call for us?
Yes. Student Representative Hanner.
I'm here. Hello.
Chair DeHart.
Present?
Vice Chair Shepherd.
Present.
Commissioner Ramaran is absent.
Excused absence.
Excused absence. Commissioner Flood.
Present.
Commissioner Andrade. Let's see. Commissioner Robles. Okay, not yet on board. I see she is in the waiting room. Commissioner Cleary.
Surprise, I'm here.
Very good. Commissioner Vignolo.
Present.
Commissioner Loyola.
Present.
And Commissioner Robles, we called your name and saw you entering.
Oh, perfect. Well, present. Thank you.
We have quorum, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you very much. And next item up for business is chair comments. And I don't have any today for relating to commission activity, but I will let folks know that this is my second to last meeting. I'm termed out, so our June meeting will be my last meeting sitting as chair, and then it will be up to those of you hanging on to elect your new vice chair and chair to carry forward. So have that in mind for your upcoming meeting. Next up, item 7, approval of minutes. We have 2 meetings to approve, March 14 and April 11. Are there any comments on either set of minutes? Commissioner Vignolo is always good at finding something or other that might need a little correcting. All right, if we don't have any comments, then I'll take a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Motion.
By Commissioner Loyola and seconded by Commissioner Flood. All in favor?
Aye.
Nod or hands up. Commissioner Andrade, is your hand up? Are you yet nodding? On approval of minutes.
I was absent for that meeting, so I don't know if I should abstain or.
That's an interesting point. It's been raised in the past, but turns out you can vote on that.
Okay.
If you trust the judgment of your fellow commissioners.
Oh, implicitly.
All right, well, you've got a unanimous. They carry as presented. Thank you. Let's see, next item 8, reports. We don't have, I'm not aware of any publicly posted subcommittee or standing committee meetings. So we can just take reports from our subcommittees if there are any or any conversations that took place. We had none for retreat, And going in under community relations, budget and personnel. The item A, the Palm Springs Police Department LGBT outreach liaison. The item to report is that there was a hate crime incident at the airport. There was a verbal situation that occurred with two passengers, and it was filed as a hate crime incident. No injuries related to that, but that was the only hate crime related issue that we saw in the last since our last meeting. Calendar, Commissioner Ramaran is out. Nothing new on the Main Street meeting. Commissioner Vignola, anything on 1PS? I think they had a meeting that you went to.
I did go to one membership meeting, and hopefully you can hear me. I'm calling in on my iPad from the East Coast. So, but I did want to mention that 1PS had an annual retreat that I attended on April 30th. And out of that retreat came 4 outcomes. One was to form work groups that will focus on solutions. A second one was to advocate better on behalf of the neighborhood organizations, and there were 50 of them currently. The third outcome was to foster strong relationships and better communication with city leaders. And the last one is that 1PS hopes to resume brown bags discussions to better inform and help support neighborhood organizations. So more to come on that. They're hoping to, I guess, re-engage the organization, revitalize it to better serve the neighborhoods and the communities. And I'm hoping, I sent a message to the chair in my capacity, not with the Human Rights Commission, but as the secretary of my own neighborhood organization, Canyon Palms, to let him know that I'm interested in working on one or more of those work groups to do some work to get these outcomes realized. So I'll keep you all informed of the 1PS work as it occurs. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. This was a test tonight. I was just testing to see which of you all were helping me stay on course for the agenda, and I drove right past item 5, public comment.
Oops.
So,
Oh, you did.
and I'm not sure. We have a guest, Michael Horn. Are you here for public comment?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
No, I'm just listening.
Okay, excellent. All right. I didn't want to omit you if you were wanting to make a public comment.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Okay, so there is no public comment, so we will move beyond item 5 and continue with cultural affairs. Our Desert Highlands Gateway Estates. Anything to share from their last meeting? Commissioner Andrade, Flood, or Shepherd?
I have nothing on that issue at all this time.
Moving down to veterans issues.
I do want to make a comment regarding veterans. As we probably all are aware, Memorial Day is May 30th, and that's when we honor the men and women who died while serving in the U.S. military. But we also should remember their families as well, the families left behind. That's all I have.
Excellent, thank you. Student or youth education affairs. Student Representative Hanner, Robles, Shepherd, Vignolo. Anything in that arena?
Yeah, no, I mean, just the Boys and Girls Club thing, but that is later. So
That's beautiful. Okay. Mediation. Item 7A.
I have a little something, the courts are back in session according to the Riverside County. I got an email the other day saying that, especially in Palm Springs area, they're up and running and they're planning the calendar right now as we speak for May. And they would like to know those who were in the whole program at the beginning of, do we want to take part of the, as it goes on further. So I think I'm going to try that if I can get my schedule worked out. But they plan to continue the small claims courts in Banning, Corona, Marina Valley, Palm Springs, and Southwest.
So you have an opportunity to take more training?
Yeah, that's the next part of it is observation and co-mediation. So at this point, I think I just want to observe for a while, and you get the credit for that. I forget how many you have to have before you can get the final certificate. But I'll be checking that out.
Excellent. Well, that's fantastic. Thank you for pursuing that.
Righty.
Let's see. Equity and Social Justice Committee. I think it's Vice Chair Shepherd and Commissioner Ramaran. Is that right?
That's right. And we've been getting numerous emails back and forth about landing on a meeting time, but to my knowledge, nothing has been set at this point. But I know Commissioner Ramaran and I are both responding with our best times, and I actually put in that I'm open. So hopefully we can get something on the calendar very soon.
Okay. All right, now we're up on item 8B, the potential education program collaboration with Boys and Girls Club. Who wants to lead that conversation? Commissioner Robles?
I will lead that in. Commissioner Vignolo, if I miss anything, please feel free to interject at any time because my notes are a little crazy. So we, both Commissioner Vignolo and I, and we both had the pleasure of meeting with the Boys and Girls Club of Palm Springs Teen Center Unit Director. That's quite a title, to discuss our potential collaboration and goals for the club's programming. So ideally, the collaboration isn't going to be within a set period of time. It would be an ongoing commitment on our part. But the programming would be targeted towards their teen center members who are ages 12 and up. And they would focus on educational programming like roundtable discussions, lecture series, and other various human rights volunteer opportunity for their members to take part in. So the teens have identified a pretty lengthy list of social justice issues that they feel passionate about, but what they will be doing, because it was quite a long list, we're going to have them narrow it down to 3 for the start of the collaboration, so we can focus on getting them the correct speakers, elected officials, or different resources that they would need, or volunteer opportunities that we have within our network here on the HRC. And then also, in addition, we'd like to start the conversation by having a few of us commissioners on a volunteer basis, just going in to talk with the teens, whether it's via Zoom or in person, kind of about our experience serving on the Human Rights Commission and why we decided to get involved, just kind of showing the teens like what like an introduction to public service looks like. And that it's definitely something that's well within the future, especially if they stay here in the Coachella Valley and here in Palm Springs with us. So that is just kind of my quick elevator pitch that I have. Commissioner Vignolo, I'm not sure if you would like to add anything else, but that is all for me.
Billy, did you mention the 3 top issues that they narrowed it down to?
I know they still are going to do another round of voting on it, but as of right now, the top one is LGBTQIA+ issues. Animal rights was one, and then the third one, I think it was a social justice
No,
issue.
no, no. Well, this is from Leonard
Okay.
Perez. So this was on April 29th. He narrowed it down to racial injustice was number 1.
Okay.
Mental health was number 2, and homelessness and poverty number 3.
Perfect. That is good because my notes were completely different. So
Well,
that's why you're here.
I think you should have got the email from him, but
my spam has been so bizarre. Like I have been missing so much.
okay.
So I apologize, but yes, thank you.
Yeah, those are the 3. And then the only other thing I would add is that I know Kalina or Commissioner Robles and I mentioned to Mr. Perez, who's the Teen Center Unit Director and Athletic Director of the Boys and Girls Club of Palm Springs. We suggested that they also maybe have some of the teens participate in our future Human Rights Commission meeting as observers. We mentioned to him that these meetings are open to the public, and they are the public. And so they're more than welcome to observe a City of Palm Springs commission in operation. We think that would be useful to them to see how they also can become engaged with other committees and or commissions, because there certainly are a lot of opportunities within the City of Palm Springs to participate if they wish to avail themselves of that. So hopefully if the Human Rights Commission, full commission approves this joint collaboration, I guess Commissioner Robles and I will reach out to Mr. Perez and see what next steps are and start identifying subject matter experts and speakers and how we can engage. Although I don't recall, given the short duration of the school year, well, they're all summer. They're here all summer, so that's not going to really be a factor. But the availability of subject matter experts and speakers may be somewhat constrained by this summer, but we'll do our best.
Be a little bit more robust when the cold seasons come in. But
yeah, that's great. Well, that's they're really serious about trying to put something together here. So this is I love what I'm hearing, and maybe a suggestion on Commissioner Vignola, your suggestion on having them observe, maybe in more than just observing, if we could get them engaged. We have the list of United Nations months of recognition for each month. Maybe there could be, we could invite representatives from the Boys and Girls Club to actually give the 2-minute report on that month of recognition, or that the topic. I don't know what's coming up next, but there's one for every month, and it could be a great thing for them to look. And they usually are focused on certainly they're related to human rights issues, but they run the gamut from recognizing women around the world, and to nurses and doctors and their contributions to society. So that could be a nice way to invite them to the meeting and not just observe, but to have a purpose and just prepare their 2-minute introduction and tell us what the month is all about.
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea.
Would something like that have to be put on the agenda, or is that just part of public comments?
It's part of, we have it.
The chair.
It's normally under our reports, and I would do it under chair reports. We've done it different, so there's a number of different ways we can do it.
Okay.
Okay, any other comments on or feedback on the Boys and Girls Club report?
So do we assume that we can go forward, or does the commission have to endorse this or vote on it, or is it by acclamation or nodding of heads or?
Well, I'm not sure what we would vote on. Maybe if is there actionable items that the two of you would move forward with in conversation with the Boys and Girls Club? I think there's consensus that we want you to continue to move forward.
Okay. I guess that's what I was looking for, is just as we engage further with them and with Mr. Perez, that we're doing it with the backing of the Human Rights Commission, and that we can speak to them. You know, we'll obviously report back, I would think, to the commission as things develop, but I wouldn't want to be speaking to them as individual commissioners, but on behalf of the full Human Rights Commission.
Yeah, I seem to feel that we have consensus for this. An action item would be if there's a specific, there's specific tasks or functions that you would like the commission to be involved in down the road. And then I would bring those back to the commission for approval. And we can approve on those specific actionable items or things that we're being asked to do. But other than that, it sounds like everything you've talked about is fully supported, and keep those conversations going, and let's encourage the youth to get engaged. Yeah, very nice. Thank you for bringing that item up. Item C, not remembering who brought this one up. This item, the National Bullying Month Symposium.
That would be me.
Oh, go ahead, Commissioner Vignola, it's your floor.
So this was an idea I wanted to, again, kind of put forward for consideration by the full Human Rights Commission, to have us sponsor with other stakeholders a symposium to be held in October of 2022, which is National Bullying Prevention Month. And since our last meeting, I contacted several local organizations that I felt might have an interest in this topic, and they all were very excited that the Human Rights Commission would consider hosting or co-sponsoring with them a symposium in October. And this would be designed to, probably as a half day or a full day, I'm not sure, the specifics have not obviously been fleshed out, but it would be either a half day or full day symposium in a local venue to be determined, where we would assemble a collection of subject matter experts that could speak to things like what is bullying, what is cyberbullying, how to prevent and identify bullying, what do you do if you are the victim of a bullying attempt, whether it's cyberbullying or something else. So some of the organizations that I've already kind of just informally met, again, not in my official capacity, but just to kind of get a sense of their interest, were groups like the No to Bullying organization, the Palm Springs Unified School District, the Transgender Health Center, the Palm Springs Police Department. There's actually a task force with the FBI on bullying itself out of San Diego. So there are groups out there that would bring to the forum their subject matter expertise and share it with our local community. And the idea would be maybe like a panel discussion, where they would be an opportunity for members of the community to ask questions of subject matter experts, to get information about the topic, maybe pick up materials that they could take with them. But I think it would be important to have that the Human Rights Commission kind of take the lead on this, because to me, it's part of our goals, part of our mission to develop community education programs. And that's really essentially what I'm trying to do in the month of October, probably on a Saturday, possibly at a venue like the convention center. I mean, similar to what was done recently there with the, what was the big, I'm drawing a blank, but it's a possibility. So before I went any further with it, I wanted to just kind of see who else might partner with us, because we're, I think could be the lead, but not the experts in this area. But we can certainly get those experts assembled to do something that I think would benefit the community and also raise our visibility. And it would be, in the fall, so we'd have some time to do some planning. That's really all I have at this point. I didn't want to go too far down the road if the commission didn't feel this was met with our objectives or our mission or our vision, or felt that this was worth our time and effort. I think that's the next step might be to do more of a proposal of the specifics, kind of get some more meat to the event, and then come back to the commission with some identified objectives for the symposium, who's going to be participating, any things more detail, but that's all I have been able to accomplish in the last 30 days. So.
Yeah, excellent. I see Commissioner Loyola's hand is up.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the question to Commissioner Vignolo is, we do have a local organization here in Palm Springs called Voodoo Bullying. Is that the organization you reach out to?
Yeah, Dimitri was the first one I spoke to, and he's totally on board with it.
Mm-hmm.
And put me in touch with other organizations that he thinks also would be very interested in participating. So I'm working closely with him. I met with him because I he's taking off for the summer to go to Greece. So,
yeah.
But we'll be in touch by email. But I told all of the people I met with that our first step was I just was sensing their interest. I wasn't making any commitments. I was going to come back on May 9th to report to the full commission. If they gave me the green light to engage with them more, I would go back to each of them and we'd start fleshing out the details of how we could all bring information together.
That's great. I'm looking at their calendar of events. They don't have anything scheduled for October. Do you know if they actually have plans to have anything similar to this that you were describing in October?
No, I thought he had something though in the latter part of October. So when we were looking at the calendar specifically, we looked at the first Saturday in October. So it wouldn't conflict with anything that they were thinking of doing. But I don't know that it's officially on their calendar yet, or any of their other things that they're considering doing. I don't think they're on the calendar yet for them, but he knew about them and they would likely be towards the end of the month.
Yeah, because I think the opportunity would be to, work with them, or if they're already planning on doing any kind of event or activity, and perhaps just tag along and see how we can support that. That would be my only comment.
I'll double check with him. I can't recall what exactly they were thinking of doing towards the end of the month, but so I agree with you. It would make sense to, kind of piggyback off of one another, but I wouldn't want to overstep on something that they've already committed to doing outside of Palm Springs or something like that. So I think for some reason I thought it was something in Los Angeles, but I'll double check with Dimitri.
Thank you.
Any other thoughts, comments? Who's the audience, Commissioner Vignola?
Well, my thought with the audience would be really anyone in the Palm Springs community, whether they're students, family members, neighbors. You know, this would be open to any and all people that wish to participate. So we'd have to do some kind of publicity around it as an event to invite the community to come. But you know, I would hope that we would target specifically young people in the city, their family members, those that are most likely to be impacted by bullying. And I know a lot of that occurs, you know, in the school community. So I'd want to work closely with Palm Springs Unified School District, the student groups and gay straight alliances. It's not that it's specific to the LGBTQIA community, because anyone can be the subject of bullying. But you know, hopefully we can gather enough expertise in the room so that people that have an interest in this topic would know about it would come to get information on where they can go if they're the subject of or victim of bullying, or if they just have an interest in it.
Excellent.
Commissioner Andrade?
Oh,
you're muted.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, just a quick comment on at the 1 PS picnic, I was talking with Mrs. Signoret, whose daughter was, I guess, an original student liaison, and had to leave because she said pretty much because of the work she was doing on this bullying committee. So she felt that we would be a great connection for the group and a great collaboration. So I just wanted to bring that up, that was, you know, her suggestion as well. So thanks.
Vice Chair Shepherd.
I just wanted to commend Commissioner Vignola on taking an interest and a lead in this, and say that I support what he's recommending and would be willing to participate in any way, as I believe that bullying continues to be one of the biggest problems that our young people are faced with. And as much as it's talked about and known about, still every time you have a forum or a meeting or an opportunity for someone to engage, there might be that one or two people that come forward that learn a little something, or that garner enough courage to you know, seek assistance with what's going on with them before they get to the desperation points that so many victims of bullying get to. So just wanted to support the effort 100%.
Hand claps from Commissioner Loyola for you there. Yes, it's a great idea and a great, I feel like it certainly is up the commission's alley to continue to pursue. So is there consensus that we ask Commissioner Vignola to bring back a defined plan, an outline of what the expectation, what the event would look like, and what the commission's role would be, and what would be required of the commission, you know, especially from a budget standpoint. Remember, our budget is only
We have a budget.
a couple $1,000. Is $2,500.
That was actually one of my questions for, I don't know, for the chair or for Jay, is what I was trying to, I know that the won't get this right. The Historic Preservation Board or Commission, which I think is a city commission, sponsored recently at the Palm Springs Convention Center that preservation weekend. Does the individual committees or commissions have to pay for the use of the convention center for something like that? Or is there that handled through the city, or is the use of the convention center for half a day on a Saturday free? Or how does that, any thoughts on that? Or
Didn't your mother tell you there nothing's free in this world?
well, I figured nothing was free, but I didn't know if that went through this, how that worked.
Yeah. Jay, you want to?
Sure, I was just gonna say it depends. If they're booked up and well into convention season, then there may not even be availability at the convention center.
Right.
But in the
Sure.
past, there have been times when, for good causes, the convention center can make space available for city functions. So.
Okay. So something we could explore through you as our staff liaison if we have a specific date and time, or
Yeah, I can try. I haven't actually been the one successful at doing it. There's other staff people with better relationships with the convention center, but the city manager's office basically will pretty much put in those requests because the forms still have to be filled out, and higher level approvals to waive fees and such have to be also included. So.
okay. Good to know. Thank you.
So I saw a lot of heads nodding and hands up when we were looking for consensus to give you the go ahead to continue to explore and put together a proposal.
Great, I will. Try to have that by the next meeting, or July at the latest. This is May, right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. Thanks for bringing it forward. Okay, now on item D, Jay will give us a report on the guaranteed income pilot program that we discussed at the last meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is sort of still a developing item for the city. I'll start with there is a state grant that provides $35 million in funding for guaranteed income pilot programs. I think we all know QueerWorks and the city and Desert AIDS or DAP Health are planning to work together to explore the possibility of establishing a guaranteed income program. So guaranteed income programs, they provide monthly checks to individuals. They range from a few $100s and up to $500 in some cases. And many cities have started doing this. The grant will be provided from the Department of Social Services, which believes that guaranteed income is a tool to advance equity for communities. And there's particularly communities that have been disproportionately impacted by poverty and wealth. And this includes race, ethnicity, gender, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, asexual identities of individuals. The city and QueerWorks believe transgender and non-binary individuals are particularly vulnerable to unemployment and homelessness, as well as assault and discrimination. So it's, as was discussed at the last city council meeting about this, just in concept, where we're at now is having the city council review the memorandum of understanding with QueerWorks in terms of specifically what they will do and their reporting requirements and how they will communicate information back to the city. I'm going to put a link to the staff report that was prepared by the city attorney into the chat, so everyone can maybe go there and have that as a reference. But it is where we're at. And their staff report emphasizes that the city funding is only going towards the the background work and is not going into the program at this point in time. So the city hasn't made a commitment to do so, but there's more and more cities that seem to be pursuing this avenue. And I can try to answer any questions anybody may have, or if anybody has comments they want to contribute, that's fine too.
Any questions of Jay? I will just emphasize that this is a test program. It's a test pilot. So that's what's being applied for here by DAP and QueerWorks, is to put together a proposal to see if we qualify for funding from the state to run a program in Palm Springs. Commissioner Vignolo.
Yeah, I just had so I did read the staff report previously, and I know that the $200,000 that the city has agreed to provide to DAP Health and QueerWorks is to begin the application and design phase only for this guaranteed income proposal. But Jay, maybe I know that the application design phase is supposed to run from April to October of 2022, according to the summary in attachment B of the staffing report. But it's unclear as to what deliverable is then provided at the conclusion of the application and design phase for the city council to consider whether they should allocate any additional city funds towards this project. Do you have any knowledge or information as to what will occur at the conclusion of the application design phase in October?
I'm just kind of guessing, and then I'm flipping through the pages of the MOU. But one of the deliverables will be the completed application and analysis as to how such a program would be operated and its feasibility. But I don't have those specific details, Commissioner Vignolo, that you're asking about those dates and what does happen in that time frame. I thought I saw a list, detailed list of those deliverables. Maybe that's in the staff report. But yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have that specific information.
That's fine. I was just curious. So my only other comment is I'm not really sure what we as a commission need to discuss or deliberate, or I don't know what we have any role in this yet. Or
this was just a discussion item that was brought forward to today's meeting at the request of the commission at our last meeting. Was just it was an informational request, is to get a better understanding of what the GIP was all about, because there was a lot of misunderstanding in the community as to what this program, what the purpose of the city support was. Okay, anything else of Jay on the guaranteed income program?
Well, I did find in Exhibit A a few deliverables, being the draft and submit the proposal, as I said, sort of the application, identifying staffing needs, and that design sounds like a plan for moving a program forward for the city council to consider.
That was attachment A, Jay?
Yes, attachment A. Looks like page 12 of the item package.
Okay. Commissioner Vignola, your hand is up.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't take it down.
All right. Okay, I don't see any other hands up, so no other discussion on this item. We'll move on to 8E. And first up on 8E is an update for Jay on the Navigation Center stakeholder meeting.
Right. I think some commissioners wanted to talk a little bit about what the stakeholder meeting was about. And I don't know if you've received the the email that went out to check and see if commissioners were available to participate as a stakeholder. It is basically just trying to get more feedback from the various interest groups in the community, including Human Rights Commission, if you so please. There is also a resident advisory group that will be formed, and there's other ways to contribute your thoughts through things like a survey, and you can watch the recordings of previous meetings. But really, what's being sought here is as much information as possible and input to seek out ideas to make the operations as smooth as possible, as safe as possible, and as perhaps invisible as possible, so that it's operating and not having any impact on the community. So along those lines, I don't know if you've received that email, but it's my understanding it was mailed out. And the options, I think, since we are a public body here, would be that we could have this discussion at an upcoming Human Rights Commission meeting while we have everybody, have it posted and do it that way, or just have a few commissioners respond to the doodle poll that was sent out. That was part of that email. And I'd see who's available to participate in those discussions.
Thanks, Jay. Did any commissioner receive that email requesting meeting date availability? I don't recall seeing an email either, Jay.
I don't recall.
Okay, I will double check with the team to make sure that those go out soon.
Now, if I was the only one that may have missed it, I would say I certainly didn't check my email, but there looked like everybody was shaking their head no, that they didn't see anything.
Do you know who it would have come from, Jay?
It's a navigation center email address that was set up by our consultant group. So I think that's where it would have come from.
Yeah. And Lily, see, when you yawn on camera, it's contagious. And Ellen, you made me yawn.
It's okay. In my defense, it's not because I'm bored. It is because when I'm focusing, I'm not focusing on other things. And the reason why you yawn is because you're not breathing fully. So I'm focusing on what you guys are saying, and I'm not focusing on breathing apparently. So I yawn because I need to like give myself oxygen. I'm listening. I'm very focused. I promise. I'm not bored. I'm hungry, yes, but I'm not bored.
All right. So item E, commissioner, staff, and student comments. We want to do a round table with any comments for anyone. We're good? All right. Agenda items for our next meeting. Commissioner Vignola, you don't think you'll have a, or why don't we put your, the bullying month on the agenda in case it is an item to discuss, and then at least it's scheduled. And if you don't have your outline or the proposed program together by then, we can carry it forward. Does that sound good?
Except I probably will not be able to attend the June 13 meeting. So I may not be able to.
All right, no, that's good. So we can just carry that forward for
Okay.
July. Okay.
Is it possible for me to write something up and send it to Jay for distribution to all commissioners?
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to get feedback from us in the meantime, even if you're not attending the meeting, then I would say let's keep it moving forward, because
And that's not violating any Brown Act or.
No, it's because Jay will send it out to all of us, and then we can discuss it at the meeting. So let's go ahead and keep the item on the agenda for the next meeting, so we can have a discussion if we get an update from Commissioner Vignola. Any other items for our June meeting that we want to place on the agenda today?
Is that the meeting for an election, Mr. Chair, or do we go until July for that?
We don't have any new commissioners coming on, so actually we wouldn't need to wait, actually. So I think we can have the election. In the past, what's happened is if we had new commissioners coming on, and sometimes there was 2 or 3 commissioners coming on, so we waited until those commissioners were seated. But I'm not aware we have any commissioner coming on. Yeah, so there's why don't we go ahead and put it on the agenda, so then it can be a seamless transition. And just to share with our newer commissioners, it's a rather informal process. If you have interest in wanting to serve in either the vice chair or chair's role, you can throw your hat into the ring and at that meeting, and then it's just a discussion with the commission. And if there's multiple people interested, then there's a vote that's taken, and the winner wins, and we all say congratulations and more power to you as you carry out your term. So it's a very informal. It's not a big ordeal. So if you're interested, please think about it, and come to the next meeting with your elevator pitch. Okay. All right, Jay, anything else you think we need to be looking at?
No, I think, the only other thing I would add is that it looks like the discussion on boards and commissions is also on the agenda for this Thursday. So it's conveniently at the end of the meeting.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to stay up for that one.
If anybody's able to keep your eyes open at 11:30 p.m. Hopefully it won't be that late. Hopefully it won't be that late.
Could I say something? Do you hear me?
Sure, Michael, go ahead.
Okay, so I guess I should introduce myself because I'm very interested in the Human Rights Commission. I just moved to Palm Springs 3 years ago, and I served on various commissions in the city of West Hollywood. So Public Safety Commission and the Human Services Commission. So I don't know what the process is to join the commission, but I find it interesting. The topics are interesting. And I can't seem to put my image on this thing. But anyway, just say hello, and I'll join you on in the next meeting. And
yeah. Well, thank you for popping in. And what you can do is you can go to the City of Palm Springs website, And under the city clerk tab, I believe, commissions, there's information on commissions, and that there's actually an online application. You can click from the website and just put in your information. And if you've got a particular commission you're interested in, you can actually submit that online, and it will get into the cycle for review and process.
Okay, that's great. Now I
Okay.
know how to, that's fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, and actually in the chat, Jay just put the link in the chat for you.
Okay.
If you're able to see the chat, you can go straight to the link on the website.
Got it. Yes, okay.
Student Representative Hanner, I saw a hand up and then it disappeared.
Well, I was going to explain exactly where on the website it was, but I think Jay already put in the link, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, you can go to the government part, or even under the Connect tab, like not even clicking on it, but opening it up. It says apply and register, and then boards or commissions underneath that.
Sweet. And that reminds me, even though we're on agenda items, why don't I share with Commissioner Robles, the other thing to do with the Boys and Girls Club is let them know that we have a student representative that can serve on, on the commission in a duly officially appointed role. So it's something that they can participate in. And if there's a student that is really interested, they can self-nominate, just as go into the website and under the Human Rights Commission tab. I think our youth representative is the online application is there. Student Representative Hanner.
Yeah, I forgot to bring that up earlier. I've completely blanked that. I did bring up the opening to some of the students at my school. I did know a few of them were interested in it. A few juniors that I go to school with in my JSA club, which is our Junior Statesmen of America, or our debate club. I know that a few of them were definitely very interested, but they were just concerned because like some of them live in Cathedral City or some of them live in like Palm Desert, if they could join the HRC. And I reassured them that I'm pretty sure that it doesn't really matter if they want to apply for the, they go to school in Palm Springs. So under that pretext, I told them that it should be okay. I don't know if any of them have actually applied, but I did open up that or extended that offer to them.
Sure. And different from a full commission service where you can be out of a non-Palm Springs resident, the student rep, the requirement was just that you attend a school in Palm Springs. So I believe it's not just a formal high school, trade school, and I think we named another entity, charter school maybe, as long as they're going to school in Palm Springs. So that's good. Yeah, all right. Any other agenda items for our next meeting? I don't see any. No further announcements for folks. We're making these meetings are just going too smooth. See, that's because Commissioner Robles and Commissioner Vignola did some good homework for us, and we appreciate you spending the time away from the camera and taking both of those subject items forward. So we appreciate it. Okay, it is now we're at item 11, which is always the beautiful item in the agenda, and that's adjournment. It's 6:29. The commission will adjourn to an adjourned regular meeting Monday, June 13th, 2022. All right, thank you all. Appreciate it.